You don't hate people. You just breathe better when no one is asking anything of you. You notice it in small moments, when plans get canceled and your body relaxes, when your phone goes silent and your mind finally stretches out, when you imagine a future and instinctively you see space, distance, quiet. Being alone feels like safety. And here's the paradox. The thing that once protected you is now the thing quietly limiting you. Solitude saved you. It gave you control when the world felt unpredictable. It gave you rest when emotional closeness felt expensive. It gave you a place where you didn't have to perform, explain, or adapt. But over time, safety became structure, and structure became a wall. You didn't choose isolation because you're cold. You chose it because somewhere along the way, connection started to feel like a risk you couldn't afford. That's the psychology of people who like being alone. Not loneliness and self-preservation. Psychologically, this pattern often aligns with avoidant attachment. Not avoidance of people, but avoidance of emotional dependency. At some point, your nervous system learned a rule. Needing less keeps you safer. Your brain adapted. The default mode network, the system responsible for inner dialogue and self-reflection, became highly active in solitude. That's why you think more deeply alone, why ideas come easier, why silence feels rich, not empty. But there's another layer: emotional self-containment. This develops when expressing needs early in life didn't lead to relief, or worse, led to disappointment. So your system rewired itself. Instead of seeking comfort outward, you internalized it. Instead of co-regulation, you mastered self-regulation. You became emotionally efficient, low maintenance, independent, and very, very alone, even when surrounded. Carl Jung once said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important." That's the invisible grief. You sacrifice authenticity for peace. You trade expression for stability. You choose quiet over the possibility of being misunderstood. The core fear isn't people, it's vulnerability. Because vulnerability once felt like exposure without protection. So simple moments become complex. Texting back feels heavy. Letting someone in feels like a negotiation. Being needed feels like pressure, not purpose. And the tragedy is this: your solitude isn't emptiness, it's fullness, with nowhere to go. As adults, this shows up everywhere. You might feel drained by relationships that require emotional maintenance, pull away when someone wants deeper intimacy, thrive in solo work but feel invisible in teams, struggle to ask for help even when overwhelmed, keep strict boundaries but feel secretly disconnected, confuse peace with distance and independence with wholeness. These aren't personality traits, they're coping strategies. And healing doesn't start with forcing yourself to be more social. It starts with witnessing, noticing the moment you retreat, without shaming yourself for it. The pattern isn't the problem. The unexamined loyalty to it is. Healing begins when you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What did this protect me from?" Inner child reparenting isn't about becoming dependent. It's about teaching your nervous system that closeness no longer equals danger. Shadow work isn't about fixing solitude. It's about letting connection coexist with it. You don't like being alone because you're antisocial. You like being alone because it's the only place you were never emotionally abandoned. And that realization changes everything. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to become louder, warmer, or more available. You need integration. To choose solitude, not as a shield, but as a sanctuary you can leave and return to freely. Because the goal was never to stop liking being alone. The goal was to stop being afraid of being seen. If this resonated, share it with someone who lives quietly but deeply, and subscribe.